They met in grad school and became really good friends. They bonded over Twilight and The Bachelor, and then they moved across the country 1,000 miles apart. Thanks to quarantine, they decided to start Jordan and Rebecca Review Things. You didn't ask our opinion, but we're gonna give it anyway. Hello and welcome to Jordan and Rebecca Review Things. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Rebecca. In this podcast, we read, watch, and enjoy various pop culture phenomena and bring you our unsolicited hot takes.
Warning, there will be spoilers, so leave now or forever hold your peace.
Today, we are talking about
Twilight the Movie!
Okay, so the synopsis, I believe I pulled this from Wikipedia, is high school student Bella Swan, played by Kristen Stewart. I don't know why I just tried to say Kirsten. High school student Bella Swan, played by Kristen Stewart, always a bit of a misfit, doesn't expect life to change much when she moves from sunny Arizona to rainy Washington State. Then she meets Edward Cullen, played by Robert Pattinson, a handsome but mysterious teen whose eyes seem to peer directly into her soul. Edward is a vampire whose family does not drink blood, and Bella, as far from being frightened, enters into a dangerous romance with her immortal soulmate.
Wow.
I just don't even, where do we even start with that one, right? Like, first of all, his family does drink blood.
They do.
So, like, that's a flat-out lie. Also, the book's definition is, like, he's not wholly human. What could it be? But in this one, it's like, Edward's a vampire, Bella falls in love with him. Like, leave something for mystery, please.
The IMDb description is very short. It says, Bella Swan moves to Forks and encounters Edward Cullen, a gorgeous boy with a secret.
That's way better.
But it's just like, he has a secret. What is it? I don't know.
What's his secret? His secret is I've never cut my toenails.
Like, would that be a secret though? Because never mind. Anyways.
Closed-toed shoes.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Like, they're in Forks, Washington, not Arizona.
You're right.
Although eventually, wouldn't you not be able to wear closed-toed shoes if you don't cut your toenails ever?
I'm not sure.
This is a tangent. Anyways, so Twilight the Movie, which came out in 2008, I believe.
The theatrical release was November 21st, 2008. I watched it on November 19th, 2008. It was a Wednesday. And
whoa. The first one came out 2 days early?
So my school, one of the boys at my school, his dad owns the theater chains in Arizona. So we got a early preview. It was just my school.
Wow.
So we got to watch it the Wednesday it was supposed to come out, and I was hype. Our school got a early preview, and it was super fun.
That's amazing, and I'm a little bit jealous. I don't remember. Like, I know I saw this movie in theaters, but I don't remember specifics of, like, whether I went to I'm sure I went to the premiere, you know, like, I probably did, but I don't have any vivid memories of it other than, like, Twilight!
I think I saw it 4 times in theaters.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there are some movies that I have seen, like, a disgusting amount of times in theaters. Like, don't even want to add up how much I paid to go see that movie in theaters. This I don't think is one of them. I do own all of the movies on DVD,
right?
And so I watch them a lot. But I don't think I saw it in theaters a lot. Not that I can recall. But 4 times is respectable.
Yeah, I saw it 4 times. I cried each time.
That's how many times I saw Frozen 2 in theaters this fall, or this last winter.
You saw Frozen 2 4 times in theaters?
Yeah, girl. Yeah, I did.
I haven't even seen it, so.
Wow! What?
No.
It's on Disney Plus! Oh my gosh, it's so good. Jordan.
I should probably see it. Don't you miss the movie theater?
Yeah, I thought thought that as soon as I was saying it. I was like, remember movie theaters? Remember when you could go to a movie theater and watch a movie?
I'm just bummed right now. Anyways,
Understandably.
want to do some IMDb facts about this movie, Twilight?
Yeah, so you have them up. Are you just going to like quiz me, or is it just like you're going to tell me things about Twilight?
I'm just going to tell you things about Twilight.
Excellent.
So, as we said, it was theatrically released in 2008, which was 12 years ago.
Take it back.
So sorry, we're in 2020, unfortunately. It was directed by Catherine Hardwicke. The screenplay was written by Melissa Rosenberg. It stars Kristen Stewart as Bella Swan, Robert Pattinson as Edward Cullen, and Billy Burke as Charlie Swan. Oh, and Taylor Lautner as Jacob Black.
Yeah, but he's not super important in the
Not
first
super
one.
important in it, but we do get to see his beautiful face in it.
Yeah, but the wig.
Yeah, the wig's not my favorite, but what can you do? He was Shark Boy in Shark Boy and Lava Girl, so I was real excited for him to join Twilight. It's PG-13, and if you want to watch it, it is streaming on Amazon Prime right now.
Yeah, all of them are on Amazon Prime right now.
So the budget for this movie was $37 million. That's estimated. Their opening weekend, they earned $69,637,740.
That's not a great opening weekend.
And then their domestic gross was $193,962,473. And then worldwide, they grossed $421,667,219. So I think that more people watched it after the first week, and then they were like, yo, go watch this movie. So
Right. Well, because when I was reading, I watched a lot of interviews and stuff about it, and it was filmed sort of like an indie film. It was not, they didn't know it was going to be the big thing that it became.
Right.
So, like, the $37 million budget, like, that's pretty low for, like, a big movie.
Which
you know what I
explains
mean?
a lot of the quality of the film. And also, Catherine Hardwicke is a hardcore indie director, so that's why this movie is a very different vibe than the rest of the series.
All right, shall we roll into the plot here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sorry.
I forgot the movie starts with a deer chase.
Yeah, and I wrote, I believe my exact words were, the shots of deers and just, like, forest stuff in general. I don't like the direction the director chose here. Like, why?
Yeah, I mean,
Also,
I don't know.
The shot of Bella, like, she's all the, like, it goes from the deer and everything.
And then she's holding a cactus.
And then she's holding a cactus and a spade. Like
she just dug it out of the ground.
That's what I said. I'm like, are they implying that she dug that freaking cactus up herself with bare hands? She's not wearing gloves.
Yeah, I just wrote, why is Bella holding a cactus? You're going to take the cactus on the airplane ride with you?
It doesn't make any
Like, you
sense.
go through TSA, why is there a cactus in here? I just want to remember the desert.
Also, I had a Phoenix question, because are there really that many cacti all over the place
Yes.
in Phoenix?
Oh, 100%.
that's-
Also, I can confirm that the airplane footage as she's leaving is accurate. That is airplane footage from Sky Harbor Airport.
Good to know.
Yes. So I can confirm that is correct.
Charlie, that doesn't matter. Charlie picks up Bella in his cop car. I have a whole thing where I was like trying to research flights and things
Why?
because I don't have school anymore, man. What am I supposed to do with my time?
I'm impressed with that. I'm sorry you spent all that time researching.
Yeah.
A big change from the book is once we get to the house and get all set up, Jacob and Billy drop off the truck for her. So this is when we first meet Jacob, as opposed to the book. We don't meet Jacob for like 100 pages or so.
Yeah, and we we get like a hint of Jacob in the books, whereas in the movie I think they try to highlight him a little bit more to prepare for the next book.
Right.
Or the next movie. But yeah, in the book, the truck was already there, and Charlie's like, surprise. Whereas they get home, she's like putting her stuff in her room, and then she sees Jacob and Billy show up in the truck.
Bella's super excited about the car, which is kind of out
Yeah.
of character from the book.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, this is awesome.
My first cringe moment, like we have cringe moments from this movie. My first one is her reaction to this truck, because she goes, oh, I don't even know if I can mimic it correctly, but she's like, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh! This is perfect. Are you joking?
And then, to make matters worse, she hits Jacob with the car door and apologizes.
Oh, sorry.
It's to establish her clumsiness, I'm sure.
I think it was an accident on set and they kept it. And it's like, that's the only good shot they got. So, like, all right.
That scene happens, and then we go straight to Forks High School.
First day of school.
She's ambushed by Eric,
Yes.
who's like, I want to write a feature on you.
He goes, your news, baby. Okay, first of all, don't ever call anyone you've just met baby. That's unless it's an actual baby.
And you want to make her the front page feature of your...
Well, what else is going on in Forks?
That's true, but I mean, I would also be like, please
I-
don't.
Absolutely not. Yeah. And then later on in the like high school day, Angela gets a shot of her, like a candid shot of her eating, and she's like, I needed a candid for the feature. And Eric goes, the feature's dead, Angela. Don't bring it up again. And then he goes, I got your back, baby.
Oh, and then Tyler like kisses her
Yes!
cheek.
Yes!
That
Oh
made
my
me feel
gosh!
so uncomfortable. It's like,
Tyler,
why?
like he, why? He just runs up to her in the lunchroom, kisses her cheek, and runs away. And I think Mike and Eric just like clamor up to go fight him.
Yeah, why are all these boys just now claiming the new girl? I don't like that, but they're also teenage boys in high school. We have the whole montage of the Cullens entering the cafeteria, and so we're like, oh, that's Rosalie and Emmett, and that's Alice and Jasper, and then Bella, who's he? That's Edward Cullen.
Oh my gosh.
He's
He
so
doesn't like
dreamy.
anybody.
And Anna Kendrick.
Anna Kendrick deserves an award for her role in this movie.
I've watched a couple interviews with her, and she's like, I totally forgot I was in those films. I was like,
I know, I love that so much. She's in every single one.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Except for the last
Except
one.
The last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because she's not a vampire, but that's okay.
Whatever. Who cares?
It's just funny to see her in it. She's like, Edward doesn't like anyone because apparently no one's good enough for him.
Nobody's good enough for him.
Like, okay, salty, much.
Also, I just don't think we can skate over any of the wigs.
They're terrible.
They're all
It's
really
definitely 2008.
yeah, good wigs exist.
Uh-huh.
This movie did not feature them. Why? $37 million, and you can't buy a good $200 wig?
I hate
Alice's
Alice's
wig
wig
in
is
particular.
terrible.
Yeah, and then Emmett's wig is really bad.
He has a wig. I don't think
Well, if it's not a wig, it's styled very poorly.
It's just very obvious that it's 2008.
Yeah,
You
you're
know?
right. You're right. And I also like the costumes. Like it just.
Oh yeah, I wrote that I don't like Bella's outfits.
I know. I wrote about her first outfit, like the green.
It's
whatever.
like a bowling shirt, and then she
Yeah.
has a long sleeve gray
like a long sleeve underneath
thermal.
it.
I don't understand it.
It's like, where did your wardrobe go? What are you wearing? Anyways, so the Cullens come into the lunchroom, and she like is intrigued by Edward, and then all of a sudden walks into biology class, and who should be the only person without a lab partner but
Edward Cullen.
Mr. Edward Cullen.
And then we have the big, like, you can see this big old fan behind Bella as she's walking in to emphasize that her smell has gone across the room and hit Edward. And
Yeah, it's got like ribbons tied to it to like show that it's like on.
yes, I was like, thank you so much for this visual display of how air works. So, and then you just see like the screen pans over to Edward Cullen, and he's just like
he's like gonna vomit.
he
or
looks like
something.
he's constipated, honestly.
Well, yeah. But also, when we look at like how he's described in the book, it's pretty accurate.
It is. It's just very odd.
It's unfortunate to see.
I mean, if I was the teacher, I'd probably be like, Edward, do you need to use? Is something wrong? Do you need to use the bathroom?
Yeah,
like,
do you need to go to the nurse?
I would be concerned as a teacher, but
Yeah.
you know, that Mr. Molina, he's just very excited about science.
He's
so good for
really
him.
excited about science.
He seems like an engaging
Super
educator. So good
He
for
does.
him.
I'd be excited to learn from him.
Edward is disgusted with Bella,
Yeah.
and then right as the bell goes off, he jumps up and leaves,
But then he just doesn't show up to school for a week.
which is accurate to the book.
Yes, she was like, I was ready to confront him the next day, and then he wasn't there.
Right.
And then he wasn't there the next day, and I was getting concerned. Then he wasn't there.
But then
And
he
then-
reappears.
All of a sudden, there he is.
Edward comes back, starts talking to Bella about the weather. They're talking about the stages of mitosis, and they win the golden
do an
onion.
root tip cell lab, and I wrote that in my notes that this feels like Stephanie's only memory from biology class, but it really cracked me up. This is like the one lab that you remember doing from high school, and you're like, well, I guess they're doing that.
We get to watch them do the onion root tip cell thing, and we don't see that they win, but we are informed that they win because they're walking
Bella.
with a golden onion. So they were the fastest group to figure out all the stages of mitosis. Honestly, I really appreciate Mr. Molina, his effort as an educator, because it's rough out there.
When I watched it most recently, I imagined him at home the night before spray painting an onion, and I just thought it was the cutest thing. Like, as adults now, like, knowing how hard teachers work to get kids engaged in school, like, the fact that he came in with a golden onion, like, that's not a trophy. That is an actual onion that he went and bought from the farmer's market, and then bought spray paint from Michael's or wherever, and he worked to spray paint that onion gold. Shout out to whoever the props manager is who actually had to spray paint that onion.
Good for them. They're
And
so
they're
smart.
walking in the non-existent high school halls because the way it's written is that these are all like cell blocks. Like there aren't.
Yeah, it's like an outside
Yeah,
campus.
there are no indoor halls, but in the movie there are. So they're walking down the halls, and Bella's like, "Your eyes look different," and like, "What happened?" And he runs away.
And then we pan to Bella is standing outside her car, getting her stuff packed up and listening to something with her
she's listening to
headphones.
music.
And then this car comes from out of nowhere and is about to hit her. And we see that Edward is all the way across the parking lot.
Yeah, it's at least 50 feet away.
Yeah, it's very obvious in the movie. He's very far away, and he comes and he saves her. And we see that there's a dent in the car, but instead of staying like in the book, he actually just bolts away.
He just like hops up like a little bunny. And then we get a shot of the rest of the Cullen fam, and they're pissed.
They're very
They're
angry.
so unhappy. Oh, fine.
So then we go to the hospital where we meet Carlisle Cullen, and Peter Facinelli plays Carlisle, and he's finally not playing a douchebag in a movie.
God bless.
So anyways, he's beautiful. Charlie comes, checks on Bella's.
Charlie is an endearing father figure. He like is yelling at Tyler for hitting his daughter. And like Tyler just obnoxiously is like, "I'm so sorry, Bella. I am so sorry." And Charlie like pulls the curtain on him. And it was like the funniest thing to me. I love that bit.
Charlie is the best thing about these movies.
Retweet.
Bella's they're at the hospital, and then Bella sees Edward as they're about to leave, and we have basically the same scene there was in the book.
Yeah, except that in the book, Bella and Edward agree to like not, or like Edward asks her not to talk about it, and so she does. Edward in this one is like gaslighting her. He's like, you must have a concussion. Like you don't know what you're saying. I was right there next to you. I was there, and like refuses to budge.
Yeah.
What else? What next?
So next, it's the next day, and Bella is Oh, is this when they go to the field trip?
Tea? Yeah.
Yes. So new thing that they added in the movie is a little field trip.
Yeah.
They're going to a greenhouse. Yeah, I really don't know why they chose to do this.
I dislike most of the parts about this. Like, there's compost tea. There's an entire bucket of worms, and the boys are playing in them. It also just seems negligible. Like, why did this happen?
This random field trip to a greenhouse is when Mike asks Bella to go to prom with him. We don't have the girls' choice anymore. It's prom. And we can see that Edward is right behind Mike as she's asking and is like making faces at Bella. And that was cute. I did like that.
Yeah.
So then she's like, oh, I'm going to Jacksonville that weekend. And he's like,
and then all of a sudden Edward's like, what's in Jacksonville? She's
yeah.
Like, how did you know about that?
How'd you know about that, creep? And he's he's very rude to her while they're walking and talking.
He's such a jerk.
She's like, you don't answer any of my questions. You don't even say hi. Hi. And then she like almost trips, and he helps her not trip, and then he yells at her and says, can you just watch where you walk?
I know, he's a jerk. And like, and he asks her a question, and he's like, "What's in Jacksonville?" And she's like, "What the heck is this? What are you trying to? You don't answer any of my questions." He's like, "Just answer the question." It's like, Edward, that's not how you have a conversation.
Right.
Any friendship, relationship, like that's not how you do that. I love that. I love that line. He goes, yeah, it was an adrenaline rush. You can Google it. And it's like,
yeah.
Thank you, Edward.
So then he follows her back to the bus and tells her they shouldn't be friends. And she's like, well, then why did you even save me if you hate me so much?
Why don't you just stop talking to her? Just stop being friends. It isn't that hard. You barely know her.
Well, and
like, just stop. And
then Alice comes by and goes, oh, are you going to sit with us? And he's like, our bus is full. Are you the one who sent me the YouTube link of, it's called Edward being an idiot in Twilight?
Yes.
And so it shows that scene, and then it pans to Gretchen Wieners in Mean Girls going, you can't sit with us!
Yeah.
It's so accurate.
My next comment after that is just, oh my gosh, Jasper's hair. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
His hair
so
is
bad.
Awful.
So bad.
It looks like ramen.
It's so bad.
It's
I don't remember
terrible.
what scene this is commenting on, but
it's in every
it's
scene.
the whole movie.
It's really bad.
And then the next bit that we see is like in lunch, and then she this cracks me up. It makes no sense, but she's like at the salad bar and she is making edible art. She's like messing with the baby corn and like has the romaine lettuce going a certain way, and like what is going on here?
It's very weird.
Edward shows up, she knocks her apple off, and he like kicks it and picks it up and has it in his hand.
And that is
that's the book cover,
that's the book cover.
Gents.
It's so stupid.
Why? I don't know if you have like gone back and just paused on the salad that she's messing with, but it's hilarious.
I don't know why she's taking all of that time to make a salad.
She's just standing there messing with two baby corns. What a nightmare of a person. Like, are you kidding me? Also, we did have somebody send us an email. You can email us, by the way, at jordanandrebeccapod at gmail.com.
We did have an
email. We had somebody email us. They had a question about why there was an apple on the cover. It's just because she's forbidden fruit. He's a vampire and he can't eat her, but he wants to eat her. She is the apple.
Well, and we also forgot to share that the quote at the beginning of the book, it's Genesis 2:17. But
Do you know what translation it is?
No, it doesn't say a translation.
That's fine.
But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. I'm assuming this is probably KJV.
Probably.
Am I allowed to say I hate a version of the Bible? Anyways.
Yeah. Yes, you are.
I don't like it very much.
It's bad translations, and it cuts out a bunch of stuff.
This is true. So all of that to say that that is why the cover of the book has an apple on it, and also why the cover of our podcast episode had us holding an apple.
Yeah.
For Twilight.
It's Twilight. Anyway, he comes up, he catches her apple for her, and he's like talks to her, and she's like, I thought you weren't talking to me. I thought like that's what's going on here. And he's like,
oh yeah, I said it was a bad idea that we would be friends, not that I didn't want to be friends.
Yeah. And then she invites him to La Push, and he's like, oh, what beach? And she's like, La Push. And he's like,
it's crowded. And then the next shot is a deserted beach.
Deserted beach. I wrote down, were any of them thinking it through when they suggested to go surfing in March in the Pacific Ocean?
No.
That's what I wrote down. Then we have Jacob and some friends who never show up ever again in the entire franchise.
Yep. Those poor actors, they got replaced.
I know. Why did they have to be? They looked great.
Well, they were gonna replace Taylor too, but anyways.
Were they really?
Yeah, that's why he had to like bulk up, because they were afraid he wasn't fit enough to be Jacob. So they were talking about replacing him, so he had to go and be like, I can be strong too. So
God bless. Thank you, Taylor, for getting fit. Anyways, so Jacob and his friends show up. Jessica's like, her date bailed on her, and Bella's like, it wasn't a date, I just being nice. And they asked who, and they said Edward Cullen. And the boys go, the Cullens don't come here. And then it's just like a solid 10 seconds of silence. And then immediately the next line is Bella asking Jacob as they're walking down the beach, what did your friends mean by the Cullens don't come here? And Jacob's line is, you caught that, huh? you caught that, like, blatant comment.
So then Jacob tells us the spooky story about vampires.
Legends of the Quileute.
And then Bella goes home that night and does some Google searching. And
some
finds...
really good Google searching for the day, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard to Google back then.
Was it?
I had issues Googling in 2008. I had to learn how to Google better. I don't know.
Well, then Bella actually finds a bookstore.
Yes. So this is the difference from the book and the movie. Is in the book, she's like, I don't know, I just thought I might try and go to a bookstore.
I'm gonna go wherever the wind blows me.
In the movie, she like finds this bookstore that has this book on Quileute legends, which includes the vampire one, and she's like, I want to go there. Oh, it's in Port Angeles. And then later, the girls, Angela and Jessica, are talking about going to Port Angeles to try on dresses, and Bella's like, can I come? Like, she has intentions to go to this bookstore, whereas in the book, she's like, I don't know, I like books. I'll go look for books.
So then we go to Port Angeles. Bella was bored watching them try on dresses.
She's just sitting there, and every time they bring out a dress, she's like, looks great. And they're like, come on, give me something more than that. She's like, well, it all looks great. You're a terrible friend. Tell her your boobs are popping out of that one, and if that's what you want, that's what you want, but I think it's a little much.
Yes.
Come on. Give some real friend advice.
She's too preoccupied. She needs to figure out what Edward is.
Everyone's like, you're not really into this, are you? And she's like, I just really want to go to this bookstore. Which is so crappy of a, like, friend thing to do. It's an hour drive to get there. Bring up your intentions if you're going on a trip somewhere.
You're
with
right.
Other people. You know? Tell them flat out that you want to go to this bookstore while you're there. And they're going to be like, cool, yeah, we can go to a bookstore. But if you're, like, not interested in dress shopping at all, and you're like, I don't actually want to be here. I want to go to a bookstore. So rude.
But at least, she knows where the bookstore is, but she still ends up in an alley.
Also, it's so dark all of the sudden. Like, I don't know how it got so dark so quickly, but it sure did. So she
is about to get assaulted by these drunk men in an alley.
Asshole dicks.
But then Fast and Furious comes out.
Volvo commercial!
Edward is spinning around his Volvo, and then he gets out of the car and he's like, Bella,
Yeah, he
get
does
in the
some
car.
pretty cool car tricks.
And Edward basically growls at these drunk men.
The guys are like, you shouldn't have done that. And then they're like, and then Edward drives away.
So then Bella goes back to the restaurant where she sees Angela and Jessica, who still suck because they didn't make sure she was okay.
Yeah, they just ate without her.
But also Bella sucks because she ditched them.
Yeah. All terrible. Terrible choices.
Bad friends. And then Edward comes and he smiles at them. Basically like the book.
I wrote that the line money, sex, cat is a terrible place for comedic relief in this moment. Also, if anyone was wondering, the restaurant is called the Bloated Toad and it doesn't actually exist. It's actually an insurance firm in St. Helens, Oregon. So you can go and view the exterior, but it's just an insurance firm and it is not decorated like the restaurant was in the movie.
And then she goes home and she only uses this book for a second and sees that they're called the Cold Ones. And then she uses Google to figure out about the Cold Ones. We get a montage of sexy vampires biting each other. We get a montage of Bella imagining Edward biting her in a sexy way.
Yeah. And then there's the real good scene where she confronts Edward because she knows who he is. And I would like to point out that you could see the contact ring in Edward's eyes in one of those shots.
I'm sure.
Yeah. But, so the next cringe quote that I have is it's essentially the entire forest scene where Bella is confronting Edward.
Well, can we acknowledge that she gets to school, she just looks at him, and she walks past him and just straight into the forest.
Yeah!
Straight into the forest.
Straight in? I mean, doesn't she know she's gonna get lost in there?
Who knows? She knows that he's gonna follow her.
And then he follows her, and she goes, I know what you are. Say it. Out loud. Say it. Vampire. Are you afraid? No. Then ask me the most basic question. What do we eat? And her immediate response is, you won't hurt me. How do you know that? And he pulls her onto his back and she's like, where are we going? And he goes, you need to see what I look like in the sunlight, because that's apparently really important.
Just this whole scene,
Also,
I hate it.
He calls it the skin of a killer.
Yeah, the glittering skin of a killer.
What other killer on the planet Earth glitters? Then at the end of that scene, they are in the field of purple flowers. Screw it. Guess we're dating now.
Well, this is also where we get the cringy line of, and so the lion fell in love with the lamb.
However, following this is one of my favorite movie scenes, which is when Edward walks Bella into the high school and he's wearing his sunglasses and he's a freaking mood.
He's hot. This is my favorite scene in the movie.
I love this scene
because he just gets out and you're like, oh my gosh, he's hot. He's hot. He's hot. And she's like, everyone looks
hotter.
Everyone's looking at us. And he's like, I don't care. I'm going to hell anyway. And then
yeah, and he just armor. It's so hot. If I could have a guy just wear sunglasses, wrap his arm around me, and walk towards a school. I don't want to go to school, but I don't know. There's something about that was
I was so into it.
Okay, so then Edward is being a giddy little lovesick boy. He's adorable.
He's jumping up and down. He's hopping onto her
so
truck.
Excited. He's so cute. And he's like, I'm going to take you to meet my family tomorrow. He pops out the dent in her truck. And
yes.
we get a brief, Jacob visit. It doesn't matter.
No.
And then they go to the Cullen house.
I enjoy the scene purely because Edward is embarrassed of his family because they're being embarrassing.
Yeah, that is the way he reacts to it is pretty cute.
They go to the house and the family is making food for Bella.
I really want the Cullens to cook for me. Like the attention to detail.
Right. They're watching Emerald.
I know. Bam! Be so good. I do feel bad for Rosalie putting all her effort into putting, like, I don't know, spinach into a bowl. Such hard work.
And then she breaks the bowl.
Also, do you see that she's wearing, like, protective gloves?
Yeah.
And then there's one of my next least favorite lines, which is, she should know. The entire family will be implicated if this ends badly. And then Bella just rambles because she can't shut her mouth, but she's like, badly as in, I would become the meal. And then everyone laughs at her. And everyone's uncomfortable. And then Alice just like prances in.
Alice makes her appearance coming off of a tree outside and just goes and hugs
Casual.
Bella and says, oh, you do smell good.
You do smell good. Also, did you watch the extended one? There's the scene where Bella and Edward go into his room and we see a stack of journals because apparently Edward journals and he offers Bella to read his journals if she wants, which seems like an incredible, like invasive, like privacy issue. He has a rain stick on his bookshelf and she like picks up the rain stick and then starts talking about how when she was a kid she made a rain stick out of toilet paper rolls and her chinchilla's droppings, and Edward's just like cringing and Bella's like, maybe that's weird.
Spoiler alert about the journals, it's Midnight Sun.
Is it really?
No.
In the movie? That makes no sense.
I
get it.
You
I'm
ruined
sorry.
my joke. I'm
It's a good
done.
joke. Do you want to say it again?
No. Okay, let's move on. What's happening? Oh,
He says Debussy wrong.
yep. I caught that. So Bella tells him she's not afraid of him. And he's like, wow, you shouldn't have said that. And just grabs her and they jump out his window up trees. And we get, you better hold on tight, Spider Monkey, which is the worst line in this movie.
Whole movie. Indisputable. Like the worst line in the movie.
It's awful.
But however, we then do get like a cute tree montage. Edward, we find out, has been stalking Bella by like watching her sleep for the last couple of months, apparently. He's like, I'll see you, like I'll hang out in your bedroom tonight. And so they kiss on her bed. I don't think she's wearing pants.
I'm confused about that. I don't know if it's boy shorts or if she's wearing underwear, but it's a weird...
It looks like she's wearing underwear. It doesn't look like she's wearing, like, something over underwear.
I just don't like the way that this whole scene went about in the movie. I liked it better.
Yeah, the book makes her seem more like a human, and she's like, I gotta put on, like, clothes.
When did they have their first kiss in the book again?
As they got back from the clearing outside the truck or car.
That would have been a better scene in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Didn't love it.
Anyways, so she makes out with him and he's like, hold on.
He flies across the room and is like, I can never lose control when I'm with you.
Yeah.
And she's like apologizing for making out with him.
Yeah. And then they go play baseball.
Yep.
This is where Charlie meets Edward officially as her boyfriend. Then they play baseball, and it just always reminds me how much I loved Muse. Rosalie hates Bella. There's a vampire standoff, which is absolutely ridiculous. The three vampires that have been killing around town show up. It's James, Victoria, and Laurent.
This one's basically the same as it is in the book.
It's the same, yeah. So James smells Bella, and then they all like crouch down and are like snarling at each other, and it's ridiculous. Really funny.
So then we have the whole scene where Edward's driving Bella away and she wants to go protect Charlie, so she breaks up with Charlie. And then they go to the Cullen house when they decide that Edward and Bella have to split up. So then they decide that Alice and Jasper are going to take her down south.
Yes. And the whole transition to Phoenix seems very negligent. They're just all of a sudden in Phoenix.
But I can confirm the montage of the mountain is Camelback Mountain, and it is, in fact, Phoenix.
They did not, however, film in Phoenix.
They didn't.
They filmed at the Hyatt Valencia, which is on I-5 West in Santa Clarita.
California. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted, like, Phoenix opinions in general of, like, them being in Phoenix.
They do have aerial shots of Phoenix, which is, I appreciate as a Phoenician.
Got a good drone going.
Yes. So we're in Phoenix, and Bella gets a call from Edward because now James knows where she is.
She gets a call from James, and then she's at the ballet studio. There's no conversation on how she got there.
Nope.
Also, there's a line. She goes, "I can't bring myself to regret the decisions that brought me face to face with death. They also brought me to Edward." The ballet studio murder is very picturesque. Like, it's visually enticing.
It is. It's pretty good for this movie.
James pushes her against a mirror, and she gets glass in her leg, and then she pulls it out. Like a friggin' idiot. You don't do that.
So she starts bleeding. She's hemorrhaging. Edward comes in to save the day.
Oh, did you notice what he says to her right before he right before he sucks the venom back out
I'm gonna
of her?
make the pain go away, baby.
And I said, that's what I would say to my friend's 3-year-old when he has what he calls an ouchie and I offer to kiss it better.
Right.
It is not what I would say to the love of my life. And then we get a montage of trees and Bella and Edward's faces and another deer. Not because the deer is, like, integral to the movie, but just, like, to make the deer shot in the beginning worth the deer shot now.
Right. And then we wake up in the hospital.
Mm-hmm. Edward is trying to let Bella go. And Bella freaks out. He's like, "I'm bad for you." And she's like, "No, you can't. You can't leave me.
You can't.
No." And then Edward's
that.
response is, "Where else am I going to go?"
Then why did you bring it up in the first place, you
Kidding
idiot?
me? Are you kidding me? And then it's prom.
And she walks down the stairs with a boot on.
I know, it's great. I don't know how she didn't tumble down those stairs with that boot on. Like, come on. If she's supposed to be such a klutz.
Right.
Jacob shows up because his dad paid him $20 to come talk to her. Edward says, "I leave you alone for 2 minutes and the wolves descend."
Yes.
So many hints to the next movie. And then Edward and Bella are dancing to Flightless Bird American Mouth by Iron and Wine, which is a great band and good song. Bedward.
Bedward.
Dear Lord.
Is that their couple name?
I hope not. Bella stepping on Edward's toes so she can dance is like high-key parent-child vibes, and it made me uncomfortable. And then the other two couples on the gazebo just, like, conveniently leave at the same time. Yeah, and then we get a good scene of Victoria descending the stairs into the credits, and she's hot. I mean, she looks great.
She looks good.
For, like, her fur, whatever. Yeah, and that's it. And then we get the credits.
The credits. What a film. Okay, so Vampire Bites. How many Vampire Bites out of 5 would you give this movie, Rebecca?
Like 1.5. Probably.
Yeah.
Is that too low? It's not great.
I'd probably give it a 2.
Yeah. And I'm thinking back to how I rated the book, and I'm like, I can't rate this lower, or like, I can't rate this higher than the book.
No, the book is definitely better than the movie.
And I gave the book 2 Vampire Bites.
I gave the book 3.
Yeah.
It wasn't great.
Yeah.
I didn't love this movie.
It's not great.
It's actually kind of terrible.
The other movies are better.
Yeah, the other movies are much better. This one is just trash.
The budget gets bigger.
It's more aligned with the books.
Yeah.
I believe, but Could be
Yeah.
wrong.
I don't know. Probably not, honestly.
This one was there's just a lot
There's
of
a lot of
differences
changes. Yeah.
that I didn't think were necessary.
We've been thinking about how we want to do Midnight Sun, and we were talking about doing it sort of in like groupings of chapters. So having an episode on like Midnight Sun chapter 1 through, I don't know, 3 or 4, something like that, and bringing in some guests to sort of like break it up, because I think there's going to be a lot of comparing between Twilight the book and Midnight Sun the book, because it really is the telling of Twilight from Edward's view.
Yes.
So I think we're gonna have a lot of comparisons and a lot of opinions. So if you guys have any thoughts on that or opinions on how we do Midnight Sun, we don't want to just read through it as quickly as possible to get an episode out, because first of all, we have lives and jobs, and that's a lot of reading to do.
Yes. It's how many pages is it?
It's like 650 or something.
Oh my
It's a lot of-
gosh.
I don't remember. It's a big book.
We both have our
And-
books, so that's
Yes, we have them. It's just a lot of reading. So if anybody has any recommendations or opinions on how we do that, go ahead and email us and let us know your thoughts.
good. Thanks, Rebecca, for podcasting with me.
You're welcome. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Jordan and Rebecca Pod. You can also email us at jordanandrebeccapod@gmail.com. Send us some recommendations to review, comments, any questions.
And we're anywhere you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.